Welcome back, Red Zone in the UK. Good morning. Welcome to the Commanders Morning Show. Scouse, Andy. How you guys? Oh, Scouse and Andy. Woo.
Well, that's right. You are right. Scouse Andy. That's right. Yeah.
How you guys doing this morning or afternoon to you all?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, hanging in there. How about you, Christian?
I'm good, Juice. Yeah, all good here.
Hey, look, man, big game today.
It is.
Big game today. Big game today. I am hype. Look, Zay is hype.
Yeah.
Zay is hype. Kai is hype, and I think this is y'all first time comment, so I definitely appreciate you guys joining in. Mike, appreciate it. If you go to the profile on my page, you can join through YouTube and subscribe over there to us and comment over there. We definitely appreciate it. But man, it's a big game, man. This is a big game. Scouts, like, how big is this game? When is the last game that had this much hype expectation? And not just us, like, we might not, but a lot of people pretty confident that we can go in there.
Yeah. It's hard, man. It's hard to compare because it's been such a long time that we've actually been 4-1. I mean, when was the last time we were that? I mean, and to try and compare it to something else. I mean, you're probably looking at probably a playoff game. Like, seriously, a playoff game you're looking at it. Probably the last time we're thinking how big this game can be. Compared to, really. I mean, it's I say it's a huge game. It's going to be a difficult game. Away at the Ravens, it's going to be sold out. It's going to be mostly their fans, even though our fans are traveling. But it's just hard to get tickets to that place, man, and it's so expensive. I looked at tickets for this game. And I live in the UK, so and that was about, well, I think cheapest one was like $300, I think it was, and then it went all up to about $1,000. It was like, wow, they were too rich for my taste,
Yeah.
For one game, that's not playoffs. If it was playoffs, okay, it's a bit different though. I probably would pay it.
Yeah. What about you, Christian?
You know what? I'm kind of game by game. I'm quite level-headed, even though it's exciting. I try not to look ahead too much, but if we do win today 5-1, we've then got the Panthers at home. 6 wins out of 7. Well, I am looking ahead, aren't I? Just by saying that. But
exactly.
I feel level-headed. I'm just
level-headed, but going too far ahead. Yeah.
Something like that. To me, I won't go as far as just another game, but we're only 5 in. I think the matchup is fascinating. It's a real. I mean, if they could have flexed this game, they probably would have, wouldn't they? To a
which we appreciate.
Which we. Yeah, in the UK, please keep it as 1 p.m.
Yeah, keep it 6 o'clock kickoff to us, mate. Yeah, keep it that way, please.
Yeah, but because it's early in the season, I still do feel level-headed about us. But it is a fascinating matchup. Last year's MVP against this exciting young QB that we've got. So yeah, very excited for later. Maybe even a glass of wine with the game, gents.
What flavor? Red.
Flavor? What flavor? It's not right beer, Andy.
Mostly it's red. It's white,
you know what I mean? I'd have a nice Italian Gavi white.
Oh no, that's a girl's drink. That one.
I knew you'd say that. I couldn't win.
Appreciate you, Kai. Okay, yeah, man. We see you next week, and we're gonna be over in the Red Zone Lab. I think it's like RZ50, something like that, in the back corner. So, yeah, man, come holler at us. So yeah, man, the weather's gonna be beautiful, right? Mid 70s, 80s, low 80s, outside, nice and sunny. So I love good football weather. It's just you don't have to leave it up to the weather. You can actually go out there and play ball. You can open up your whole playbook when the weather is nice. So I'm definitely looking forward. It's just a good day to play football with these, with these two quarterbacks. Christian, we don't play them often, but we do play them a lot in the preseason. We rarely have we're rarely 1 and 2 in a division, so we hardly ever get them on our schedules because we usually 4 and 3. They usually 1, 2. But overall, I think the history is pretty tight, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, obviously the Ravens were essentially an expansion team, weren't they, back in '96? So obviously we haven't played them that many times, both for being an AFC North team and for sort of relatively recent formation. Baltimore got an edge 4-3 of the 7 occasions that we've matched up. And we usually look back at a game, don't we? So I went back to 2012, which was kind of known as the Battle of the Beltway. Redskins at the time actually won the game 31-28 in overtime, which was courtesy of a 64-yard punt return by a cornerback, Richard Crawford, which happened to be his first ever punt return as well. And that set up a winning field goal by Kai Forbath. Now, that kind of was arguably the start of RG3's injury problems. He actually came out the game in the fourth quarter, and Cousins came in. Ultimately, though, I think the Ravens actually won the Super Bowl that season, beating San Francisco. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens today.
So winner takes the bowl. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
I'm probably saying more likely Commanders win and then Baltimore win the big prize again.
Yeah, because was that 99, 2000? We beat them that year, and they went on and won the Super Bowl. So
indeed, and I looked as well. There's one stat that kind of popped out a little bit, slightly worrying. Lamar Jackson is 21 versus NFC teams.
Yeah,
which is just one defeat. I
20
think it's
and
20-1. Yeah,
Yep.
it was. I think he lost to the Giants back in maybe 2019.
Danny Nichols. He lost to him. They 1-1 with him.
Yeah. It just, I mean, Juice said last week he wants to play the best to test where we are. So
here we go.
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Here we go. Oh man, there are numerous matchups in this game that can determine winners and losers. What are some top ones for you, Scouse?
Well, first one's got Derrick Henry against our front seven, really. I mean, because at the end of the day, this guy's an absolute beast, and he's so hard to tackle. Like 1-on-1, you're not going to bring him down with one guy tackling him.
Mm-hmm.
You need 2 guys minimum. And the thing is, we are even though when our defense has been quite good the last couple of weeks, it's still a problem being gashed up the middle. So, and Henry's just an absolute perfect style running back for that kind of play calling. Run it right up the middle. So, yeah, man, it's going to be very difficult. But that's for me. That if we can win that battle, I think we've got a great chance. But it's hard to stop Derrick Henry.
For sure. Well, you got some, Christian?
Yeah, I suppose if we're looking at kind of keys to win, I've been a bit broad here, really. But for me, it's like play all 4 quarters, if that makes sense. We don't need to sort of like force things against a team like Baltimore. I mean, you're not going to keep them quiet all 4 quarters. It's just not possible when you've got the threat of someone like Derrick Henry. So, yeah, that's my thing there. And I think also we kind of spoke about this last week, and I thought both backup defensive tackles played really well, like Johnny Newton and Phil Mathis. So again, regulating that snap count. If they are going to be running through the middle, we don't want Allen and Payne to be, breathing hard, shall we say? Yeah,
it's tough because both these guys are better in kind of like trying to rush the passer. No, do you know what I mean? So rushing the passer, Allen and Payne really more than the run stoppers. That's where the linebackers have got to come in. Like Wagner's got to have a huge game for this. Again, Luvu's another pass rusher, really. So, I mean, you really need Wagner's got to be on his A game today. He really does. Huge one.
Yeah, he's really going to have to see the plays pre-snap and be able to make tackles because you want to hit Derrick Henry either at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage, right? You don't want him to get the second level. Even if you can get a shoulder on him, just to get him a little off balance for the linebackers to come and clean up. And look, man, like when Lamar, when they're passing, you want to contain, you want to set your edge, but you don't want to just let him sit back there and look and watch. Like you want to still be in your lanes violently or aggressively staying in your lanes. Kind of sort of how we did Kyler Murray. Like Kyler Murray is not Lamar Jackson. You know, we all know that, but he has that elite skill set of being able to scramble, get out the pocket, and run. But we have to contain him. But a key matchup for me is tackling, right? Like Zay Flowers in the open field, tackling him. Because if you don't tackle him, he's definitely going to get yards after the catch. And the same with Lamar. Like when he's back there, you have to break down, you have to chop your feet when you're getting closer to him. Because if he makes you miss and you're the only one there, we've seen it with Jayden and we've seen it with Lamar for 7 years, he will make you pay. Even if you just have to just stand there and dance with him till other people come. Do that. Do not let him get behind you. You know, so tackling is going to be a big part in today's game.
100%. Do you think we're going to use like a QB spy quite a lot with Lamar?
Yeah.
Could that be someone like Chin? Would Chin do that, do you think?
No, I don't want Chin. No. I think so. I think the issues with like the Bengals last week is if Lamar gets protection and you kind of have good coverage downfield, the rushers, like there's no one there. There wasn't a couple times there was no one there. Oh, I thought that was me. There.
It's not me.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it was me.
I wonder who it was then. It was me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You just have to keep eyes on the way he is now. What was me?
Yeah, because that's the alarm chime. So I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? So I thought I was like dreaming during the show. So like they didn't have no one like in the middle of the field. And they did it too many times. So I think that person will kind of be like Louvu, right? You have Louvu there. I think they'll mix it up. Maybe Louvu. I only want to see Louvu, Percy, and Quan Martin. I don't want to see anybody else with that responsibility of spying Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Quan, I think would be quite a nice matchup for him. I think, yeah. I think that could be quite a nice one.
He seems to recover well from last week. Did he go off last week as well, Quan Martin? He went off injured, didn't he? So
concussion.
Yeah.
He probably pretty good. If you had that interception, that would have been.
He must, yeah.
That'd have been better. We still haven't had an interception, have we?
No.
Because
Louvu's was changed to a fumble.
Yeah, we still not had a pick yet in the whole season. So yeah, man,
that's a good one this week.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, to answer Big Simple's question there, he mentions how many stops we need. I mean, that could be. I mean, this game could really. All depends how it starts off. I mean, if it's like a defensive masterpiece, then obviously we're gonna need a lot of stops. But if it's a shootout, then maybe 1 or 2 stops could be the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it sort of just depends really on how this matchup starts off in the game, really. Yeah. So after the first quarter, well, no Big Simple.
Yeah, I mean, we give up touchdowns on opening drives and scores on opening drives often, but we're able to come right back and score too. I think the key to this game, as far as stops, is at the second half, the first possession of the second half. Depending on where the score is, if you can get a stop. But yeah, man, we need at least 1 or 2 3 and outs, and we need to flip the field at least once. And if we get something like that and still putting points up on the board, I feel pretty confident. So there's some keys to win, Christian. What you got?
Well, obviously we already talked about the defensive side of it. Again, I think on offense, let's just keep humming along. Let the plays develop. Don't force things. I know the Ravens beat the Bills. Josh Allen and company, and I think I got the impression the Bills were maybe forcing it downfield a little bit. We're up against the first-year defensive coordinator, Zach Orr. So again, I know Andy often talks about keeping the opposition honest, with the deep ball. I'd flip it round a little bit and say, don't completely stop the run. Keep running the ball as well. Obviously, Ravens are good against the run. Don't get too pass happy, really. The Baltimore backfield is a bit of a weakness, though. They're 31st in the league, 280 yards allowed per game. And I think what Washington have been really good at from a sort of team perspective, we're playing hard on every every play until the whistle goes. And I think particularly because Jayden can extend outside the pocket. So keep that kind of mindset going. You know, people like McCaffrey, for example, I think would be important today as well. So like I said, I think take the opportunities as they present themselves. You know, letting the plays develop. I don't think we have to. When you've got a quarterback like Jayden Daniels, you don't have to force it too much from the pocket anyway.
What you got, Scouse?
Yeah, I think a huge thing here is going to be Austin Eckler, because the thing is now B-Rob is actually downgraded to out, so he's not playing this game. So that's going to be a huge thing. As you mentioned, they're trying to keep the defense honest with the deep ball, but also keep them honest with actually running the ball, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's much more difficult now. We don't have B-Rob, we don't have that real bruiser, and I don't like Eckler in that role. Even though he can do it, he's done it before, but I don't like him in that role. I like him what he's doing for us at this moment. So McNichol played really well the last few weeks. He's really got to kind of keep that momentum going for sure. And hopefully you might even see C-Rod maybe get a few touches as well. So, but yeah, man, we have to keep these honest. And I say just take what the defense gives you, as you mentioned before. Don't force things. Don't throw into double coverages. But Jayden's not been doing that anyway this season. So I don't now think he's going to start doing stuff like that. You know, I think he's going to play how he's going to play, and he's been playing like the last few weeks. I think the difference is, you know, this is a big game. Will his nerves, because he does start off a bit nervous. He even mentions himself. He starts off a bit nervous first few kind of plays, first drive. Even it's not always he's a bit jittery, you know, those type things. And then he settles in. So as long as you don't make any big mistakes in that first drive, I think, you know, and say if we can get some points and try and keep a lead, we'll have a great chance. Because if we can do what we did to Cleveland and we did to Arizona, keep deep basically their run game was obviously the better part of their offense, and because they were too far back, they had to abandon the run game. That's what we need to do. We need to somehow get ahead, and then that negates Derrick Henry a lot. Do you know what I mean? So, and which is our weakness on defense. So for me, if we can get ahead, a couple of scores ahead, like even just 10-0 or something like that, you know, we can have a great chance of winning from that angle there.
Do you take the kick if you win the toss? Do you receive or defend?
I'll probably receive.
I'm more aggressive, so I want the ball. So give me that ball, and I say with the nerves that Jayden might have, but it's like you've got the ball first. Let's go and get 7. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the way it's going to have to be, because, as I said before, if we can get that lead at the start, it'll make it a hell of a lot easier for our defense. It really would be. So, yeah, I would personally take the ball. But what do you think?
What about you, Christian?
Yeah, same as I mentioned, same as Andy. I'd receive, definitely. If you want to get ahead a little bit, why not? You know, and it gets the nerves out of the way as well, doesn't it? You know, so yeah, definitely receive for me.
Yeah, because the defense haven't been good on the openings, and I really only know who's been winning the tosses. Like I don't. It's kind of when I'm thinking about it now, I don't remember who actually won. Like, did we actually defer, or did they? You know, so. But I know what would be big. Like if they do get the ball first for us to get a 3 and out, like that would be huge, and that would be like really, really, really huge. Be able to put up points, and if we can have the lead, like you was mentioning, Scouse, going into half and be able to get the ball right back, I think that'll definitely be.
That'd be perfect. Thought, yeah. If we can run nice and smooth, that's what I want. Yeah, we want to see that, don't we? But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be an interesting game for sure.
If C-Rod is because he's been called up from the practice squad, do you think he? I mean, obviously he's more of a workhorse type back, isn't he? How many sort of touches do you think he'd get? I mean, he's not going to do much out of the backfield, is he? He's not a receiving running back more or less at all. But I didn't think this was. If you're going to lose Robinson Jr., it wasn't the worst game to lose.
Yeah, because we haven't seen him like last time he was called up, Eckler was out, so you had B-Rob, so you didn't see him at all. But now you don't have B-Rob. You know, maybe he'll get more carries, but On the other side of it, Jeremy Nichols has been running very hard in between the tackles. So
Yes, yeah.
he may not get no. Jeremy Nichols might get all of those carries. So,
well, I think he deserves a few more snaps for sure, a few more carries from his performances the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I think. So yeah, see what might get the short yardage things. The kind of if we are on the first and goal or 1 yard to go, those type plays, you might get C-Rod then, but. Besides that, you're probably going to see more Echo and Nickel for sure.
He's a kind of poor man's P-Mine.
What are some keys for you, Scouse?
Keys, man. I mean, as I say, we've got to take the lead, and we have to stop Henry. We have to spy Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Let Lamar throw the ball. Okay, as in, like, I'm still not convinced that he's a great passer. I genuinely believe that our guy's a better passer than Lamar is.
Yeah, I do too.
So for me, that's the best way to make him make mistakes, because I'm not scared of him. I know our corners aren't great, you know what I mean, but it's kind of. Zay Flowers is good. Don't get me wrong, but the other two guys don't scare me at all. Bateman. I can't remember. I mean, even Andrews is not even producing for them. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like
more likely.
Yeah, more is that likely. Yeah, and the thing is as well is that even last week he was poor.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not terrified of the receiving weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrified of Derrick Henry. I'm terrified of Lamar's legs, but I'm not terrified of anything else really. So if we can stop those two things and make Lamar beat us with his arm, then I think you'll see a lot more mistakes. I think we get the ball back. Might even get a pick today. Who knows?
Yeah, we faced better wide receivers, haven't we, this season already, without a doubt. We've had Jamar Chase, haven't we? T. Higgins.
We get better on deep ball, but against quality quarterbacks. But again, let's say Joe Burrow was a beast. He's a quality quarterback. Where Lamar is MVP and all this, but the thing is though, it's like. It's not because of his arm. You know what I mean? It's because of everything that he brings.
Yes, I don't think he's cracked 4,000 yards yet.
No. Because he has poor receivers. Let's face it. He has guys who aren't very good. So, I think, we got to. I think, make him beat us with his arm and see how it goes.
Yeah. I know Marlon Humphrey is playing. I know we got a bad ankle all week, so we'll see how that goes. And they have the 32nd ranked defense, Ash. So passing defense rather. So there will be some opportunities. They have the number one rush defense. So I still want to run the ball, and I think Cliff will still run the ball. Even against the Bengals, they kind of shut out rundown. He continued to still run the ball. I think B-Rob had like 16 carries for 33 yards, but it wasn't about the yards that game. It was about to continue to keep the pace that he wanted to keep. And still build off of that. So I'm definitely excited. But yeah, I mean, Lamar doesn't go deep too often. A lot of this stuff is underneath 10, 15 yards would be a big play underneath. That's they kind of move the chain. So I'm kind of interested to see how that works out. And Isaiah Likely is just, man, he has it all. Like, this kid is good. He's been good the last couple of years, and Andrews got hurt last year. He came back, Likely just continued doing what he's doing. Now he's the number one tight end. So, but before we go to the knockout player scouts, Christian, I'm gonna come to you about tight ends. Like, this is the one thing we have not seen yet this season is a bona fide tight end, pass catching tight end, and Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. Like, he's still good. I think he's like 26, 27. So this is the first time. How do you think the defense is going to fare against a pass catching tight end?
Could potentially be a problem. I mean, you'd probably say Luvu and Luvu's certainly a kind of more of a get to the quarterback type linebacker, isn't he? And maybe in coverage, perhaps not so good. But I think there's some quite intelligent guys in the backfield for Washington nowadays. You mentioned Quan Martin. I think Chin's been improving as well. Are we a great coverage team though? Not so sure. There's a good chance that Likely can find those sort of sweet tight end spots. Yeah, I think a potential problem there today, but there are so many problems on their team anyway. So
Yeah. What's up, Cash? Good morning, brother. What you think, Scouse? These tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's as you mentioned, we've not taken on a top quality tight end this season yet. I mean, the best one was Trey McBride, and he wasn't playing, so
Right.
so we got lucky with that one. So it's going to be different. It's again another nice little matchup there because I think for me, Sanistill's got to play in the middle. I know he can play in the boundary. No, play him in the nickel, man.
do you think he'd be outside today, Scouse? I think
Yeah,
he'd still be
I think he
outside.
probably will be. I think he will be outside a lot. And
Yeah.
yes, can he do it? Yes. But even he says it himself, his best position is in the nickel. So for me, play him his best position, even though and bring Forbes into the corner. That's what I would do personally. But who am I? You know. But yeah, because I think Sanistill's got to be the guy who's locking down these quality tight ends, like you're mentioning. So, and this will be a different game because they've got two good tight ends, isn't just one. So it's going to be again.
And they're in 12 and 13 personnel of that, and 22 personnel, and the third tight end is good too. Like he's been making an impact this season too. So
They moved the chains team, aren't they, guys? They can really move the chains. They're that kind of team.
Kohler, is it? Kohler.
Yep, something like that.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay moved the ball well. I thought Tampa Bay were a good move the chains team as well.
Yeah, I definitely think Sanjastra is going to be your boundary corner for this year. I think they have got to the point where, you know what, 13 is just not it. Like I don't know what they're going to do with him, but you see, he only had like 4 snaps, and I think by that time the game was out of reach, I believe. So, and Igbo has been playing really, really well. Like he's been covering that slot really, really well.
So man, you're completely right there.
Yeah, but you're good enough to take on these two tight ends, though.
I know that's what I mean. So it just, I don't know. So if they do go two tight ends, maybe Sanjastra will be there, right? But he's so small though, right? Like so short in a sense, and unlikely Andrews are both tall guys. So I don't know if that's going to be a good matchup. I mean, they probably keep him on a boundary. Maybe they have St. Juice over Matthews, or likely that'll probably be a good matchup.
Better for size matchup, but he's awful in the middle. I mean, you've seen St.
Ghost
in the middle.
But I'm talking about more so like covering tight ends, because even though they're tight ends, they kind of line up, standing up a lot, right? So, we probably can do that, and I'd rather have Sanderstrell on Zay Flowers anyhow. You know what I mean? Because he's more twitchy, and BSJ always has issues with that. So, and then you got Igbo, you got Percy. We might see a lot of three safety sets too, with Percy in there. So, covering those guys. So, I mean, it's good to know, good to see. And we can see where Chen is as far as coverage on tight ends. That's what he's here for. Like be that guy that could cover those tight ends. So I don't know, man. We gonna see.
Interesting. There's loads of matchups throughout the whole.
Yeah. This is set up to be a good game. And it ain't no charity game either. Like we're good too, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that's why it's so exciting. Go ahead, Christian.
Absolutely. I think as well, like sometimes we think that coverage guys can't be physical. You still got to be physical in there, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think Chin, Quan Martin, these are, we're playing well, and I think we're coached better. There's a little bit of PTSD with Washington and tight ends as well.
We're definitely coached.
We've been burned so often, so.
There's no
special teams, man. Special teams is going to be like the last few weeks, man. You see our guys hitting guys. It's unreal, man. I mean, that nickel tackle, he blew that guy out. Oh, mate, last week was unreal. I was like, well, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. That sets the presence. That sets the tones. Yeah. And that's what I want to see early on in the game,
What's the name of the guy we brought in late for special teams? A real special team specialist. I think he made a mistake first game. I think he's been good subsequently, hasn't he? He made a mistake first game. Yeah.
He got two crushing hits last week. Yeah, he got 2 crushing hits last week.
Yeah.
Man. That's why I think people saying like we can't get it in the end zone. I think that's a strategy. The Ravens do it too. They kick it in the field to play a lot. I don't know if they'll do it this week, especially with Eckler back there. Because I'm sure they're still going to keep Eckler back there. So because our our kickoff team is so good, like the coverage team is so good, we hitting. So I think that's actually a strategy for them to kind of kick it short. But let's move on. Knockout player Scouse. I mean, they have a few of them, but who you got?
I mean, obviously you can go for the low hanging fruits there. Couldn't you mention them before? But let's think of somebody else rather than talk about them two again. Walk-on Smith.
Yeah,
the linebacker for them. This guy is an absolute animal. Been all pro many times. This guy's top draw. Again, see how it goes against the run up the middles. I think he'll stop all that, no problems. And now we don't have B-Rob as well. It's going to make his job a little easier from that angle. But we need to get out on the flats. We need to get Eckler out on the flats and make him chase him down. That's what we need to do, really. But he's the top. He is top draw linebacker. You want to see good linebacker play? Go and watch him play.
Yeah. I think Simpson will be the one that watches Jayden. He's pretty fast. He's a smaller guy too, I noticed. So us not having B-Rob definitely help him out too. But who you got? Ash, have you guys seen the Tottenham Stadium? Tottenham.
Yeah,
Tottenham,
I've been to Tottenham games. Yeah, been before last season, and the year before.
Only to Wembley. I've only been to Wembley for NFL, but I have been to Tottenham's ground for the heavyweight boxing.
Cool. It's a nice stadium. It's really nice.
Yeah, it really is lovely.
It's brand new, and it's only about 2-3 years old. So, man, it's a very nice stadium.
Yeah. What about you, Kristen? What's some players over there, some knockout players do you think for the Ravens?
Yeah, if there's a bit of a worry, if it is a tight game and we mentioned about interceptions, etc., Cole Hamilton's a good player, isn't he? Cole Hamilton's a really good player.
Oh, he's a really good player. Yeah,
he's someone I'd worry a little bit. And also, like sometimes, I mean, throughout the years, some teams have sort of like faced Washington and all of a sudden got ready. I think so Cole Hamilton's a bit of a worry for me, and I think Williams has not been amazing so far, but we know he's good as well. So if it's a tight game, Jayden is still a rookie. He has thrown a few interceptions. So, and up against those kind of real, kind of wily, experienced guys. I mean, Hamilton's, is he 3 years in the league now? But he plays like a 10-year vet, I think. Hamilton.
Yeah. So. What's Jahan? Jahan 3 years? That was that draft.
It would be his third year, wouldn't it? Third year this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, the obvious ones, obviously. I mean, we talk about Derrick Henry all day, can't we? But yeah.
Yes, we did hire someone from the football office. I can't think of his name right now. And yes, he was instrumental in the new kickoff rule. So, and he was part of the rules committee. So he understands a lot of the rules. He helped implement a lot of them. So I think that was a great hire too. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Deuce, making that point, that just shows how detailed the Washington front office is nowadays. How many over the years we always spoke about those little advantages. Great example.
Yeah, we talked about in the offseason, like we looked at the 49ers, like how robust their organization was as far as inside the building, and how many different positions and different responsibilities. They had a whole tree of people. You look at ours, we had like 6 people. Right, they had like 20, 25, and we was wondering if that's what Peters was hiring, and that's what he has done. He has kind of built it out like that. So, and that was one of the hires that he made, and he made a few other hires, some under the radar hires, behind the scenes that we don't really care about, and we shouldn't. Like we fans, we shouldn't be caring about what's going on in the building, until it's time to make a trade or draft and free agency. Other than that, we shouldn't be hearing about these guys throughout the year.
So you look at the staff. The amount of staff we hired this offseason is insane. I mean,
the staff itself,
yeah. I mean, you look at like you mentioned Peters, and I'm building this kind of massive tree of actual, structure, which is great. But before that, think about it. We had our mate Dan Snyder and Allen. as just doing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you got like 30 guys doing it now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yep.
yeah.
That goes to show you. Yep. That goes to show you.
That meant Dan Snyder didn't have to pay 30 people, you see.
Exactly. So you could do it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Did y'all see the charter buses?
Yes, I did.
Did y'all see? Yeah, that's So now somebody said we would have had school. Dude, they have a cheese bus.
That's how I view you going.
Even going directly to Arizona, that was a heavy ticket. That he paid for all of them to be down there. I don't think they had
it. Nice. That's nice that the owners have got the bit of this.
Yeah. And connections. Like connections too, because he ain't paying full price for that stuff. You know what I mean? So that's good too. And then have the guys in the building with him, Mark Ian and those guys and Magic, like being able to have those relationships with people.
Yeah.
There must have been at least 100 people that he must have taken along.
Yeah.
And probably hired out a whole hotel, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the whole
Yep. A whole community did. Yep.
So. Yeah, man, to spend the money, man, and it's and it proved dividends. Now we just went into Arizona and walked all over them. So hopefully we can continue to do it. If we are going on longer trips, I don't think we do we? I think we're lucky this year, aren't we?
Yeah. I think the 5 out of the next 7 is at home, something like that. So I think we have the lowest travel miles this year. And we lowered that even more by going straight to Arizona. So
is that the kind of style you travel in, Deuce, to the games?
Yeah. All right. Spotlight players. Who you got?
Spotlight player Deuce and
okay. A bit like last week, I've gone for someone who I've gone for 3 in total, but I've gone for, first of all, we mentioned last week about Dorrance Armstrong. Started to flash against the Cardinals, and then he brought that game again to the Browns. So on the other side of the ball, I think considering Baltimore are a bit susceptible to a chunk play, I'd like to see Dyami Brown have another good game. I thought he played well last week against the Browns. So Dyami Brown, and I'd obviously say Terry as well, obviously for the deep ball threat. And we mentioned this earlier, and also because we've not recorded an interception in 2024 yet. Nice spotlight on Mikey Summerstill to perhaps get that interception for us. So they were my 3 guys: that deep ball threat from Washington, and also let's get an interception today.
For me, spotlight player Igbo. I think Igbo will get the pick 6 today. Former first round pick that's looking at he's coming around, so I'm definitely interested to see that. Would love to see him get a pick 6 today. Also looking at Louisville again, right around that line of scrimmage, and I'm gonna double this one up. Payne and Island. I need y'all to show up. I need y'all to show up. We need tackles. We need at least 10 tackles for loss. 10 at least. We need at least 7 to 10 TFLs today. At least, if we really want to win this game comfortably. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think if it's ever happened, but to win this game comfortably, we're going to need some TFLs. And I'll add TFLs and 2 yards. How about that? From 2 yards to TFLs, we're going to need at least 7 to 10 of those today if we want to be successful. What you got, Scouse?
I think you got to go for one of my friends. You've got to go for Wiley. Everyone knows me, knows that I can't stand the guy. I think he so yeah, I mean, offensive line is gonna be very important to you today again. Keep Jayden upright, but Wiley, man, I mean, he's been playing he's just been playing well the last few weeks. I've got to give him his props, okay, but we know what he's like. I mean, we've seen it for a couple of years now, so I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop with him, and he can start making some mistakes again. I can just see it. So for me, as long as Wiley doesn't make any mistakes today, or any major mistakes, then I think we'll be fine. But yeah, man, Wiley, man's got to be one of those guys today. Stop the rushes, stop the edge rush.
Yeah, CashApp entire running back room. Jayden Daniels continue to be great. St. Jude's continue to play solid corner. He has the pass.
This thing, isn't it? It's only a couple of weeks. Like the sample sizes are so low, for these guys that we've known have been bad, notoriously bad for years. St. Juiced,
But
Wiley,
I guess you
seen
think
that?
about like the coaching, right? And we all,
Yeah.
how much is the coaching making an impact? How much does play
Mm.
calling make an impact?
Oh,
Can these
massively.
guys be a little bit better? So if they continue to trend, I think they've been trending since week 1, right? I mean, the defense took them much longer to kind of start trending upward. Like they was like not looking good at all, but the offense has been trending upward. Like I don't even think Wiley has given up a pressure. You know what I mean? So that's insane to me. And you think about Jayden helping that and the play call and all of those things. So, at some point, like Scouse, you got to say, man, Wiley, I'm sorry.
I think as well.
I need 3 games though to put up with.
You need like 2, 3. Okay.
I mean,
give me the season he scored all season. I go, okay, then Wiley's good. That's what I'll say.
And you got to think. I mean, in his defense, Wiley. Last season you had Sam Howell dropping back. How many times? Like so many snaps. I mean,
Icon didn't help him.
Here go Christian again. Last week it was 3 quarterbacks. Now here go another one.
I'm just keeping everyone grounded. I'm keeping everyone grounded. Remember your immediate past. Don't get too excited, guys.
That's true, Gus, and good morning to you, man. Like this guy's been on 8 teams in 9 years or something like that. So he's definitely looking for a 2-year deal or something. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta go to work before the game start. I got commands 38-29. Have a great rest of the show. Appreciate you. Big Simple said he already apologized to Wiley. Ash say, and everybody else that's here in the comments, go ahead, put your score predictions down. We're running. We about to do ours. We're going to start with Christian. Against Ravens is all about defense. We can't expect 35. We have to score. Like, we have to score. Like, we're still not trying to trust this defense. We have to score. Radar, good morning to you, buddy. What you got, Christian?
Yeah, I mean, we're coming up against 2023 MVP, the running back who's already got 9 touchdowns. I think unlike the Browns, they're well coached and they're more of a together unit, aren't they, than the Browns? Even though I think the Browns defense.
Oh yeah, most definitely. The Browns is a crash house.
Yeah, do you know what though? I still believe the Cleveland defense is legitimate. I still actually do. So I thought we were great against the Browns. Defense has only let 14 and 13 points the last 2 weeks. The Washington defense. I think there's an opportunity that Daniel's profile goes even higher after today. So I've got Washington 34, Baltimore 31 in the classic. That's a little bit heart overhead, but hey. So Washington fan podcast.
What was that, Christian? What was it?
34-31 Washington.
Okay, gotcha. John got 45-17, Radar 37-33. Ash
45-17, John. I mean, come on.
34-27. Ash 33-27. What you got?
For me, because Wiley's playing, I'm going to have to go with no, what's called it? No, I think I do think we lose a close one. I do think we lose this game. I think we lose it 31-27. I think it'll come down to the fourth quarter, and our defense will be gassed, and Henry will run all over us a bit more then, and that'll be that's how we'll lose. But again, I think as long as we can keep it real competitive and we take it in the close, we won't lose any kind of traction, if that makes sense, going forward throughout the season.
Yeah, most definitely.
Or if we get blown out, that'll be a big hammer blow, But if it is tight and even if you do lose, it's not the end of the world, So we can continue progressing on.
Yeah, if we get blown out, it's telling me that we're the best of the mid teams.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The middle of the pack teams, we're probably around the best of the middle of the pack teams. We're not ready for the big boys yet, right? But a close loss, a competitive loss, it just tells me that hey, we just got to fine tune a little bit of things, and that can happen this season, right? A blowout, I don't know so much, but a close competitive game with the loss can tell me that hey, look, from this point to week 15. We'll be ready. Got a few more tests. Oh yeah, appreciate that likes. Oh, y'all down there, please hit that like button. John said last time we had a defense that played like this, we won a Super Bowl. All things to come believable. Right, I understand. I tell you, man, it's Commanders and Redskins stuff all over the place when you go outside. I mean, my goodness, it's W's all over the places. Yeah, I love it.
I mean, didn't you hear that the value's gone up by 250 million already or something? And
that's crazy. I didn't hear that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, the value's gone up by 250 million. So it's like, okay,
wow, that's crazy.
Winning team, man. I tell you, winning team, and it can make a huge difference.
And he might not even pay the full 6 billion, 6.5. Or no, 6.05. He might not even pay the full thing because they saying something about revenue or something like that. So they might be actually paid like under 6. So he's probably excited about that. Anyhow, Deuce, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Appreciate you stopping through. But I got a 33-27 Commanders. I think the team is for real. I'm trying to get out of the, this is typically we get destroyed and whatever, but just looking at the film, the tape, just the numbers, everything points to us being competitive and us being for real. Because people say, "Well, y'all ain't play nobody." I mean, you can say that based on records, right? But what do you do to teams that other people say aren't good? You go in and you stomp a mud hole in them and you blow them out, and that's exactly what we did. We beat the bad teams as a good team should do. So we'll see how this goes, how this plays out. Either way, I'll be excited. I think a win for us is going to definitely put us in the playoff. Like, it changes the season. A win for us changes the season. It's now playoff or bust if we win this game. If we lose this game, I think we still can get to the playoffs. Like, if it's competitive, I think we still get to the playoffs. And of course, J85 is going to be everywhere like he already is. And for the Ravens, a win for them, like, all right, you should have won. Right, this is a game you should have won. You better team. You got the reigning MVP. You should win. A loss for them is going to be, Lamar is not this. It's going to be more of Lamar is not this for them. They're going to have to go through that for the rest of the year. They're going to be 3-3. The North, they'll still be in position to win the North. I don't see too many threats in there to them for that, but. A win would mean more for us than what it will for the Raiders.
Big time. I think they say it's that everyone says, every game's a measuring stick, but really it's not. This is a true measuring stick, as you mentioned there. These are a good side. These are one of these teams that you aspire to be like, and if you're better than them, then you've got a chance to go deep. You know what I mean, into the playoffs. If you're if you're just beating up bad teams and you're kind of mid, you're above average but not great, and I think this is a true acid test, a true measuring stick game. It really is, and that's why it's such an important game. Even though, and it's great that's a 1 o'clock kickoff as well, because there won't be national media on it as well. I mean, there will be, but there isn't. Do you know what I mean? It's different, isn't it? It's a different feel. When you're playing 8 o'clock at night game, everyone's watching, JD5's thing, and everyone in the whole world's watching this game, and blah blah blah. He hasn't got to think about that. You know what I mean? So I think timing also helps us more as well. To be fair, so
I don't know, Scouse. Like, this might be a different one, man. Like, it might be. I mean, this might be the first primetime game at 1 o'clock. I think all eyes is going. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw the map, but half of the U.S. is watching it. Has this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. This gonna be all eyes on me. Go ahead, my bad, Christian.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I think some of the teams we've beaten this season, I don't think they fall into the bad category. Like, I think the Panthers are pretty bad, but I'm not sure the Cardinals, for example, are a bad team. The Browns are a little bit dysfunctional, but I'm not sure.
Didn't Arizona beat the Niners?
Sorry?
Didn't Arizona beat the Niners last week?
Yeah.
And they're like a so-called Super Bowl team. So,
And with Cleveland, the Schwartz defense is a good defense. That's Jayden learning on the cuff. I mean,
the defense is good. We just stomped them that much that they give up. That's basically what happened.
And you can tell as well, I mean, during this podcast, and the same as last week, we haven't mentioned Jayden that often, and yet he's the key. And I think that's
he's always going to be the key, isn't he? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of guy he is, though. He's so level-headed, assured, mature for his age, etc. So, I'm ready and excited for this one. I think we have to watch on Sky, don't we?
Yeah, it's on Sky for us, which is our main.
Yeah, does that take it off the zone
television?
See, look at that. See, prime time over there too.
The first time we've been on probably 6 o'clock game for a long time on Sky, really, to be honest.
See,
we're ready for it.
All right, man, we got to get out of here. Any last words you got, Scouse?
Man, I'm fingers crossed for that win, man. Fingers crossed for that win because I know what it could lead to. Do you know what I mean? It really could, because we've not even mentioned the next four, 5 games we've got next.
Nope.
You know, if we go in and give the Ravens a good hiding, man, the confidence is going to be so high that we're just going to steamroll the next 4 or 5 games. We really will, and we'll be ridiculously looking at like a 10-1. Do you know what I mean? You're thinking, fucking hell, what are we doing here looking at that? But, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's so. Yeah, I'm really, really fired up for this game, man.
For sure, for sure.
Hope you win.
I think 2012, Ash. That probably was the last time.
RG3.
Yep. What you got, Christian?
Yes, very excited about this evening as well. But again, I still feel level-headed. You know, I've gone for the win today. If we lose, it's not the end of the world. You know,
right.
It's not the end of the world.
It's not a blowout.
Yeah, blowout. You know, okay, it's different. It perhaps puts things into perspective a little more. But no, we're just humming along nicely. And as I say, let the plays come to us. I don't want us to force it too much, even though their backfield's been a little bit of an issue, because there's good players still there for Baltimore. So, and Kingsbury as well. I mean, Kingsbury key again. How good has he been?
He's going to need to play keep doing what he's doing, man. His last 3 games he's called superb games. Yeah, very balanced, really, really good.
Yeah, John, I'm hearing a lot about that 91 team being compared to this team.
I mean, how good's that Stevens fella? You know, the corner.
He's not good.
He's not that good, no.
No, and he lines up on the right side. So I don't know if they're going to move Marlon around. I mean, I know he's kind of hobbled. So if he's hobbled and not 100%, then I don't think he can follow Terry. But
take some deep
we'll
shots.
see. That's definitely going to be interesting for sure.
That's an interesting. Probably never.
So like everyone, not everyone, but I'm telling all of you now, if we win, you know, On the Huddle usually run at 9:30 on Sunday evenings to recap the game. We usually go about an hour and a half. If we win, we will be on probably until 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I'm telling you that right now. We will probably be on until 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So just be ready for that. If we win, expect a long night. Remember, we definitely appreciate all of you. Appreciate your time for you using it with us, spending it with us. We definitely appreciate it. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one heart, one love.